People Sun Show. Little late, but you know how it go. I told y'all between 1 and 1:30, so please don't come at my neck and try to hurt me. But we're here, and I promise that we will be here, and we're here right now in this year. 2024 going for more, trying to even up the score, and even if you're not on board, I am going to try to come and get you. Yo, I never spit you. We are the Urban Therapy with Sun Crew. Daily go get them, yeah, that too. And we are here to rock, and I'ma do this shit. I was not here at 1 o'clock, but at 1:25 we alive, and until the show, I'm gonna strive to do the best that I can, woman and man. Talk about you don't know how to treat a man. Women don't know how to treat a man. Oh, I know we gonna have something going on here. Women these days don't know how to treat a man. What do y'all think about that? Some say it's true. A lot of people say it's true. Men say it's true. A lot of women say that it's true. But what makes it true or false? That's what we're going to get into this afternoon. This May 11th, one day before Mother's Day. Women these days don't know how to treat a man. We're going to find out what it means to be able to treat a man the way he wants to be treated. Is that how to treat a man? Do you treat a man the way he wants to be treated? Do all men want to be treated the same way? I don't know. But we're going to get into this thing. I think this would be a good conversation for us today. So let's get into it. Get into it. So are y'all, oh, by the way, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If I don't talk to you tomorrow, if I don't see you tomorrow, I want to say happy Mother's Day, man. And y'all, you know, for those who still have their mothers alive, salute to you. And for all of those who have lost their queens, salute to you as well, and my condolences as well. So, you know, weekends like this can really put a damper on people's spirit. So I figured we would talk about knowing how to treat a man. That way you could be angry along with your sorrow. So let's get into it. Yo, how y'all feeling, man? Yo, it's the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752. We're going to do the official intro in a minute, but yeah. So women these days don't know how to treat a man. What? As I was writing this, I was like, it felt very hot buttonish. But I was thinking that, this is a relevant subject. It really is. This is important because when we think about the social aspect of knowing how to treat a man, of not knowing how to treat a man, I mean, that's a real thing. It's very subjective. All men aren't the same, and all men don't want to be treated the same. We all have individual desires and ways that we look at things and the things that we want and all kinds of stuff. So when we talk about women these days don't know how to treat a man, that's like saying that women back in the day or at another time on another day did know how to treat a man. Is that really what we're saying? Because if that's what we're saying, then we need to get into that, fully into it. We need to disrobe. We need to disrobe and really decide, like, all right, where are we going with this? But right now we on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, so let's do the damn thing. Urban Therapy with Sun752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is a Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I am your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the... And if you can't say Omar with the... well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Yeah. So women these days don't know how to treat a man. What do y'all think about that? When you read a title like that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Do you get angry? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Do you say, like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about? Do you feel like you're in good company? Like, other people recognize what you recognize? What are the first thoughts that come to your mind? Let me shout out my peoples. I want to thank y'all for coming through. Cal Chamberlain, me friend, me favorito. Always a good time. Always great to see you. And Stacy White, thanks for coming through in the day, even the night. Yeah, that's really right. And Care Bear, thanks for the share. Thanks for coming through. Dedication and yeah. And frequency, baptism of frequency. What's going on? What's going on? How you feeling? He says, you switched up the backdrop. Looking good, OG. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that mucho. Now I'm not so sure of how long it's been since you've been back here. But yeah, we this is the same backdrop as it was last night. We just changed the sign. We just changed the sign. But as far as the Daily Go Getimism backdrop and the Urban Therapy with Sun backdrop that we've been using for years, I decided to switch that up. I'm not sure if we're going to go back to that because I'm even going to switch this up. We're going to upgrade this shit. We're going this way. We're trying to go this way. We're trying to elevate. So what do y'all think about this topic? Women these days don't know how to treat a man. Men, since we have some men in the chat, in the audience, somewhere out there in the world, what do y'all think? What has been your experience with men? What has been your experience with women as far as knowing how to treat men? Have you seen patterns? Have you seen certain things out there that have been like a red flag? Have you seen something that definitely aligns with this title, or have you had an experience that's totally different from what we're talking about, or if we're talking about? Let's see. Oh, Jameson. Oh, okay. You tried this. He says I talk fruity. That's about the stupidest thing ever. Like, come on, dog. Like, my voice, my whole persona and demeanor and all that shit. Like, I understand you trolling. As a matter of fact, let them live. Like, you want to troll, you want to dish and all of that shit. Hopefully, you bring in 500 more trolls just like you. You know what I'm saying? Because I will give them this. Unlike a lot of other trolls, you got him out of there. You got him out of there. All right, well, fuck it. To hell with him. And Honest Abe says he does talk fruit. They tag teaming. Okay, I ain't mad at it. All right, I ain't mad at it. Stacy White says some of these men have their own mind, selfish, and their own blueprint. Okay. And Carol says, really angry. It makes you really angry with sorrow. LOL, you doing too much, sir. I ain't mean to do too much. You know what I mean? I ain't mean to do too much. We ain't gonna do but so much. Emily Dunlap in the house of city. Emily, what's going on? How you feeling? All right. Let's see. Baptism of Frequency says, just gotta leave family business in the house, not on Facebook. I agree with that. But does that have anything to do with knowing how to treat a man? Are women these days conditioned, groomed, taught, coached on how to treat a man? Because I'm thinking, like, I don't think that it would be hard for a woman to treat a man the way he wants to be treated, or the right way. The same way I don't think that it's hard for a man to treat a woman the right way, or the way that she wants to be treated, or whatever. All you have to do really is ask. Ask and pay attention. Ask and pay attention. Women don't have any problem normally telling you exactly what they want. But sometimes they have a problem telling you what they want. Yeah, women don't normally have problems telling you what they want. At the same time as sometimes they have problems telling you what they want. Do you understand what the contradiction in what I just said? All right. Normally women will tell you what they want in the form of what they don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't need this in my life, and blah, blah, blah. They will tell you that. At the same time, sometimes when it comes to some women and nailing them down to specifics of what they want, even when it just comes down to something to eat, like, all right, babe, you hungry? Yeah. You want something, what do you want to eat? Well, I don't know. And that's not all women. It's some women. Some women have problems making sound decisions, and they will give you the impression that they want you to do all the thinking. And sometimes, if you don't do all the thinking for them, then they tell you that you're not a man, or that's what they're thinking, because you're supposed to be a leader when they don't want to just open their mouth. And that doesn't apply to all women, but it applies to some. Just like some women will tell you, well, you should know me well enough to know what I want, or what you should have done, and blah 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 blah. That's not good communication, but these are some of the things we have to go through. So when it comes to a woman knowing how to treat a man, do we use the same criteria? Are we on the same platform? Are we saying that men don't tell women exactly what they want? I mean, even when it just comes to the physical part of a relationship, men normally tell women what they want. Like, yo, ma, can I, can I get some head? Can you go down on me? Different ways to say it, from the most vulgar to, they might make it sound like eating a piece of gum, but they will let you know what they want in the bedroom. So I'm thinking that energy of them letting you know what they want in the bedroom probably spills out into other areas of their life that have nothing to do with the bedroom. So knowing how to treat a man doesn't sound like something that's really, really hard. I've definitely heard women say, I ain't no treating nobody like a man. He got to be a real man, number one, and he got to do this. Like, so there are all of these qualifying factors that I hear some women talk about when they talk about how to treat a man. So that, in my mind, gives us a miscommunication right there. We talk about submission and all of that. Well, I'm not submitting to no man who hasn't submitted to God, and I'm not submitting to no man that don't have a job, who is not providing, who is not doing this, who is voting for Biden, who doesn't recognize that the sky is really turquoise and not blue or indigo. All of these things. He got to be taking care of his kids. He gotta be paying all the bills in the house. He has to make sure that she don't have to work, have to think, have to eat, have to shit, have to sit, have to stand, have to lay, have to put on shoes, have to shop, have to fix anything. Then I'll submit to him, because then he's worthy. But it's sure ain't because he didn't tell you that's what he wants. So when we talk about women these days don't know how to treat a man, we could probably come up with a million examples of how they don't, and probably the same amount of examples of how some do. But generally out here, what are we talking about? What are we talking about when we say that women these days don't know how to treat a man? Women these days don't know how to treat a man. They don't understand things that he wants. Give him his beer, his chair, his blunt, his PlayStation 5, Xbox One. All you gotta do is give him a drink and leave him alone, son. And everything will be all right. Black or white, Hispanic, Puerto Rican. I'm just speaking about men in general. We mostly want the same things. Be treated just like a king. Be felt like we important in our family. We ain't trying to run no scam on the fam, but damn, we want a little bit of freedom. Have the chick come overhead when we need them. Ain't a whole lot. Give me your grub. Give me some love. Give me some attention. Always mention me with the kings in the history. I ain't trying to do nothing else. Read the list to me. All right. Okay. Let's go. Let me see what y'all talking about. All of these deleted comments and all of that. I mean, we rogued the day. We rogued the day. So let's sift through the files and see what we're working with. See where I'm at. All right. Oh, sheesh. All right. Care Bear says so many women don't know how to treat a man in a way that would inspire him to stay parked for a while. Ooh. Now that's heavy. That's pretty heavy right there. Ooh. 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 All right. Okay. Oh, they bitching. Okay. All right. Okay. So you mean to tell me all of the other people that came in here, they was all on that bullshit? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to lead it off like this. If we say that women these days don't know how to treat a man, like what are we really talking about? Where are we really with this whole concept? You know, do we expect all women to approach men in the exact same way, to treat men the same way? Like is that our expectation? The expectation. And when you talk about a word, when you throw out a word like expectation, what are you really talking about? You're talking about your anticipation on receiving something. Like on a job, they will tell you, well, the expectation of somebody in your position is that you will do this, that, blah, 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 blah. But they'll lay it out. Well, that's the expectation. Our expectation is that you will be prompt, that you will make sure that you're here and present, and that you'll be available, and that you will perform your job functions as stated in a responsible way, and that you will carry yourself in a respectful way, a respectable way, that you will display the leadership qualities that you displayed to us when we interviewed you 2-3 times. You know, it's the expectation. Many couples join up with each other, link up with each other, and they don't make their expectations clear. They don't make their expectations clear. So if we talk about women these days don't know how to treat a man, do we also have to talk about men not communicating clearly their expectations? Because just what I was talking about a few minutes ago is that for the most part, to my knowledge, most men normally communicate what they want, especially when it comes to the bedroom. You know, it's not normally the woman that's like, yo, let's try anal. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. I know with me, it's been presented that way. Like, yo, I'm like, no. They're like, but. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable, man. but it's normally the man. Like, you know, they want to try some freak shit, threesome shit, introducing all kinds of extra shit. It's normally the man that introduces that stuff. When women are the ones who introduces it, it's done in a different way. Very subtle. Very subtle. So are men these days not helping their women out to know how to treat their men? I mean, treat them. Is that a situation that we're dealing with? I really want to know. I need to know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think when we talking about women these days don't know how to treat a man? All right. So if you look at your parents, because this is probably the first example of when we learned what treating a man is all about. If you grew up in a two-parent family, or even not a two-parent family, but a family where there was love, or there was a connection, or there was a relationship going on, whether your mom or your dad had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or whatever the case may be, you know, where the influential men in your world, in your life, were they treated well by the women in your life? I mean, in their lives. You know, did your mom, you know, tell you certain things like, you know, men don't like this, men do like this. I've heard these conversations. I've heard these conversations go on with mothers to daughters, I've heard him go on with grandmothers. I'm sorry, with grandmothers to mothers, two daughters, passing it down with each generation. Like, yo, you don't do this. You don't do certain things around a man. For example, bringing up other men. A lot of times that's taboo when it comes to a man. Like, you know, most men do not want to hear about any sexual experiences or any really close, intimate experiences that their woman has had with other men, particularly in the beginning. In the beginning, like, when he's trying to get established. Now, don't get me wrong, because some men might want to know about how the last relationship went or whatever to see if this woman knows how to treat a man or even if she gives a shit about it. I was listening to one I was looking at this video a few weeks ago. And it was a weird video. This dude was talking about, oh, I think I mentioned it on this show before. This dude was talking about the comedian Jess Hilarious, and they were mad at Jess Hilarious because they evidently she's the whipping boy for disgruntled men these days. Like she's supposed to be a cheater and loose and unkind and unfriendly and all this old stuff. I think she's funny. I love her videos. I like her. I mean, what little I know about her, but anyway. So they were saying about her. The dude who made the video, he was saying some crazy shit like, when he gets with a new girl, or he was encouraging men that when you get with a new woman, you should consult her ex. So y'all should consult with each other to talk about her, discuss her, to see if you're worthy. I mean, if she's worthy of your time and your effort, and to warn each other about what some of the antics, practices, and foolishness that she might be capable of. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this motherfucker must be crazy. Ain't no ex gonna tell the current man, like, oh yeah, man, you got a good one right there. She cool. Or, well, she cool, but you better watch out for when she say that she on a pill or using birth control, because we had like 3 abortions, two miscarriages, and then, of course we got a son and a half. Like, what? Like, don't no man want to hear that shit. So if a woman is constantly talking about how her ex treated her, good or bad, because some women think that they're giving their man a badge of honor by constantly reinforcing how good he is to her or how much better he is to her than her ex. So it's like, yeah, he never bought me nothing. He never took me nowhere. He never gave me nothing. He never listened to me. He never understood anything. He never blah, blah, blah. All right, okay, that's cool. Maybe the first or the second time. But if it starts to become a running pattern, like, you sound like Mary J. Blige's second album. This is sounding very My Life-ish. Like, okay, all right, your ex did you dirty. He scarred you. It was hard for me to get with you because you still had a lot of that energy left over from him. A lot of negative energy left over from him. Okay, all right, mom. But can we get to this bag? Can we? Like, a man don't really want to hear that. I wouldn't think he did. Some men are a little weird and they want to, have a chance to compare themselves all the time. I know men like that. Like, yeah, well, like, I know one dude who is always, every time he does something for his wife, I think it's weird. He always talks about how he'll do for this wife, his current wife, all of the things that he wouldn't do for his first wife. I'm thinking like, I thought it was weird because I'm thinking like, why do you take the opportunity to mention that all the time? Like, why are you always talking about, all right, if you love your wife and you like to shower her with gifts and you like to give to, but your first wife are the ones that you had kids with. You don't have no kids with this current wife, and I just didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a badge of honor or commendable to be talking about what you didn't do for a woman that you were married to before. But hey, that's his thing. So when we talk about women these days don't know how to treat a man, if you are constantly comparing your man, your current man to your ex, or your ex to your current man, like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? And this might be a little off the cuff, but let me ask y'all this. Wait a minute. First of all, has the chat stopped? Because I haven't seen it move in minutes. Let me make sure that we good here. Because it just seems a little odd that I didn't see another word. Let me see. Because normally when this happens, it's the case that, okay, yeah, yeah, my current chat had stopped. Okay, all right. So, oh shit. All right. Okay. There's a lot more. Okay, let me find out where let me find where Carol left off. Because the last thing I saw was when Carol said every one of them, Omar. So let me get to that. Let me get to that. Okay, so Eric came in. He says the only attraction is money, my brother. Really? On which side? See, now I'm out of sync. Manzor lifestyle. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Care Bear says also, unfortunately, some women don't know how to treat a man because they don't know how to treat themselves. Interesting. Manzor lifestyle says I'm from Pakistan. Shout out to my Pakistanis out there. Carol Chamberlain says men like to feel comfortable, loved, and secure in his relationship and home. Home is a place where he can be in peace and away, peace away from all of BS, the daily BS outside. I cannot disagree with that in any kind of way. No way. Moses Renteria says, ever crash out any public bitcoins? Nah. Oh, cash out. No, I don't fuck with no Bitcoin. No, no, no. Mm-mm. Nah, that ain't for me. I'm good. Those who know how to do it know how to do it, but there's way too many scammers in that shit. It would be different if they could present that shit to you without so many scammers winning. But too much of a gamble. Forex trading, I don't know. Okay. Stacy says, wait. You're being used in a good way. You don't even know it. Okay. Gabriel says we've got so used to being objectified that we don't all respect when a man is communicating what he needs in order to be what we need. Wow, that's deep. All right. Gabriel says I love Jess Hilarious. She owns her toxicity and what she needs to get better at. I can't argue with that because those are facts. That's what I saw. All right. Bat Wayne, do you like ice cream? It's all right. If you was talking to me. Lamont Grandy says, what's up, OG? What's up with you, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. Okay, Kevin says no, it hadn't stopped. It stopped for me. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not another word. They said the chat went silent, like, all right, and mannequin challenge. All right. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Thank you for coming through, my man. Good to see you. Always. Batwayne says, I don't understand almost a word of English, but it's so interesting here. Well, how don't you understand a word of English, but you write English very legibly, unless you're using the AI app where you're translating it. Okay. Ansel Jones says, who are the women that are role models today? I think there are plenty. All right. So, okay. So we're getting some interesting information. But if you look at the title, I say women these days don't know how to treat a man. So are we saying that things have changed, evolved, and progressed or digressed, or should I say regressed so far from before? Did women from before know how to treat a man? Are there any differences, significant differences in men of before than men of today? What do y'all think about that? Are men today different, so they have to be treated differently? And maybe women of today haven't caught on? And are we only talking about younger women who don't know how to treat men? Or are we talking about women from like older women, middle-aged women who should know how to treat a man, but still don't know how to treat a man or refuse to learn or refuse to adhere? How do you treat a man? Give him what he wants, give him what he needs, give him both of them. Men, Ansel, Batwayne, Lamon, Lamon, Moses. How do you like to be treated? How does a man individually? What are some things that you like to see a woman do that makes you feel like she gives a shit about you, the way that you feel, what you think, your respect level? Like, how do you like to be treated? What I like in a woman is when she allows me to be myself. For me, personally, that's a big deal. That's a big deal because when I say allow me to be myself, that means I don't have to put on a different face for you. When you walk into the room, I don't have to change my conversation. I don't have to walk different, act different, talk different, act like I think differently. I don't have to start pretending like I like something that I don't like. Like it's okay for us to like things individually differently, you know? So, like for me, that's what knowing how to treat a woman, I'm sorry, a woman knowing how to treat a man has a lot to do with. Now, a lot of men don't subscribe to that. And caller with the last numbers 6606, I see you. I see you. I'll be with you in just a second. Just a second. That looks like somebody I haven't seen around here in a while. That's back to the. All right, we're gonna get with him in just a minute. But yeah, it's really a big deal because I've seen men out here try to act like they like things that they don't like. Oh well, you and your woman watching movies or whatever. You got to act like you like romantic comedy. You might not like that shit. Or what do you have to act like you don't like? I don't know, Marvel films, action films, karate flicks, or something like that. I'm thinking that knowing how to treat a man is taking a big overview of what your man likes and what he dislikes and acting accordingly within reason. Within reason. Like if your dude likes some old crazy shit or some unreasonable shit, that might not be a good idea. Like, I don't know. My man likes motorcycles, but for some reason he's on some daredevil shit and he always wants me to come with him. And I don't know about you, but I'm uncomfortable with being on the back of a motorcycle at 150 miles per hour. It just doesn't feel safe to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. So it's hard for me to give my man what he wants because I feel like he's trying to kill us. I want us to be together till death do us part, but I'm tired of him courting death. And anybody who is going, in your car, you know how fast 100 miles per hour feels. Now, any of y'all stunt doubles out there and crash dummies who do more than 100, 110, 120, getting up to 130, 140, really seeing if your vehicle can reach those speeds. You know you have to have a vehicle that can withstand that much speed and hold up, because it's not easy. But imagine being on the open air on a bike. 100 miles per hour on a bike feels a lot faster than 100 miles per hour in a Lincoln or a truck, because trucks, like bigger cars, absorb that speed. You don't feel it as much. Like I got a BMW 7 Series. That shit do 100. You be like, this is 100? Yeah, it is. But you're not feeling it. It absorbs all of that. What's the word I'm looking for? That it absorbs when you don't feel like you're going as fast as you're going. Okay. Thanks for coming through, Dakota and Sugar Bear. Appreciate the compliments, Sugar Bear. Appreciate that. All right. By the way, y'all can call into the show. If y'all want to call into the show, I invite y'all to call in, and the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199. Press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak. And then I will call you out by the last 4 digits of your telephone number, and you can rock on and do the damn do the damn thing. No, you will not be on camera. We will just hear your audio. Everyone who is listening to the show, looking at the show, will be able to see. Will be able to hear your audio, so they'll be able to hear your voice, just in case that's a concern of yours. All right, so caller with the last numbers 6606. A sound for sore ears. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. What's going on? How you feeling today?
Hello, go. I'm back, like you said.
Are you back? Because I can hear
yeah. How you doing? How you been?
Feeling like a real man should, man. Everything is good. How have you been? It's been a good while.
I've been all right. I've seen the show around, but not this early on Saturdays. I just caught it by accident.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to get on YouTube myself. Just You just said you got a BMW. You must be an influencer. So I'm going to become an influencer too.
No, you can get get any car you want. I didn't say what year I'm BMW. I didn't say that.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Trust me. You can believe me on this one. It matters. It matters.
Is that right? Oh, okay. I would think the older it was, the more vintage it was, the more people would say, "Yeah, all right."
But I
want to answer a question.
Wait a minute, there is some truth to that. There is some truth to that because those BMWs they make in these days are straight garbage. They a bunch of oil leakers. But
yeah. Well, you know the climate control, the emissions, and all that good crap. But you had a question that you asked if women today were like the women of yesteryear.
Yeah.
In behavior, yes. In mindset, no. Which sounds like a paradox. And here's why. Because I grew up during that era. Back in the 50s and 60s, women were very dependent upon their men. A lot of women did not go to work. A lot of women couldn't get credit cards unless they had a husband's signature. A lot of women couldn't do anything without their man saying okay. So a lot of them had allowances. Those who worked, they also brought back a stigma to the family because the man at that time, from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s through the 60s, you had to support the woman. If she was working, it was a bad sign for you. It made you look like you weren't a man, that you didn't have enough wherewithal in order to support the family.
Yeah.
So the women, they were very dependent upon the man.
Okay.
Now, their mindset was the same. They always wanted the same as the women do today, to be so-called independent and powerful and be on their own or all that good stuff. But they weren't they weren't that acceptable for jobs during that time. So they settled for the home life. The mindset was they wanted what the women today want, but the women today, they can get it. The laws are in their favor. The laws are in the favor of the husband back then. So that's my quick answer to that question.
Okay.
Does that make any? I mean, does that ring a bell with you? Because you're not as old as I am. I'm a senior citizen, so I remember back then.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. But the question that I have is, did women back then, with all of the ways that the employment system was set up and the structure of the family was set up, did they know how to treat men? Was that part of the equation?
Yeah, well, the mindset is they treated men the same. If you listen to any old radio broadcast, the women were not as subservient or acquiescent as people like to believe. They treated, watch The Honeymooners, right? With Alice and Jackie Gleason, right? Alice to the moon. She didn't budge. The women were not submissive, but they had to be somewhat acquiescent. They had to give in to the demands of the household because the man had the money and the laws were in his favor more then. So they treated men a little bit differently, but at the same time, they still didn't treat men as though they were gods, as though they were worth something. And today, it's even worse. The mindset back then and the mindset of today is the same. The behavior back then is slightly different because if they started to go out of pocket, they would be shut down. Today, if they're out of pocket, if a man tries to shut them down, the man's accused of being a creep or a bully. So there's a major difference there.
True. That's true. And it's funny, but when you brought up The Honeymooners, that's an interesting show to lead off with as an example. But then you have to ask yourself, when you look at The Honeymooners and you look at all of the other shows on TV, and even though they took a lot of the real life aspect out of it, when you look at the relationships that husbands had with wives on just on a TV level, you're right. You didn't see a whole lot of subservient women, or on a lot of the shows and in the movies, the women were actually more dominant. And some of them, like if you look at Blondie, remember the Blondie series, Dagwood was he was a nincompoop. You know what I mean? Like You know, so
Right.
she had to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many times did he get fired? You know, and Blondie had to you know, go save his job. But at the same time, she never mistreated. She never mistreated Dagwood, even though he was a blundering idiot, you know, for the most part. But so I mean, you can look at it as art imitating life, life imitating art, or whatever. But I think that those ideas to portray those images for that long, we talking about in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Uh-huh.
So even going up to, you know, like you look at the Partridge Family, if you look at
Right.
you look at the Brady Bunch, you look at any of even the Waltons. You know, they weren't necessarily, the women weren't necessarily subservient, but they were respectful, and they played their role, you know, in the family,
That's
you know,
That's true.
to a point where they were playing their part the correct way. So yeah, all of the subservience or the submission or whatever, I think that they are different levels to that, and there are different forms of it. And I think they may have captured it, and at the same time let you know that women didn't have to be like doormats. Because sometimes we get the impression
Yeah.
these days that men are asking for women to be doormats, and I don't think that that's the case.
That is not the case. That is not the case. The men were supposed to lead, and the women, they enjoyed the largesse of the man making the money, putting the roof over her head. And yes, she was not subservient or that acquiescent, but she was passive aggressive, but she wasn't that passive aggressive to the point where she abused her husband. Of course, in some cases that did happen, and men did not report domestic abuse, nor did they report that they were henpecked. But at the same time, the women, the majority of women back then, the percentage of women back then compared to the percentage of women now, were more respectful, because if the man clamped down, he was allowed to get away with it as a husband. Like I said, no credit cards for the wife. If she didn't have a job, she had to depend upon him for money. So he could do it. As a matter of fact, in one or two states, if a man wanted sex and he rolled over in the morning and had sex with his woman, and the woman said no, he could have sex with her. It wasn't rape. Okay, now that doesn't mean that there was a lot of that going on. There probably wasn't, because men were respectful of women back then. But the mindset nowadays is that, hey, I'm strong, independent. Bullshit. I'd love to meet a strong, independent woman. You're so strong and independent? Hey, okay, then you can pay for half your shit. Okay.
More than that.
When we go out on dates, you can, okay, and all that good stuff. Nah. So the behavior has changed, but the mindset back then is about the same. So, you know, that's what I got. And what does a man want? Man wants today what he always wanted: to be appreciated, to be shown gratitude, and to have peace. And you were talking about for a man to be himself.
Yeah.
I agree with you about 50 to 60%. I myself had to change my personality and behavior, because I might have said this on your show, I had a raucous laugh. I had a laugh that sounded like fingernails on a blackboard. Mm-hmm. I changed it because it was legitimately annoying, but I didn't know it was annoying, even though people told me it was annoying, until I heard myself on tape. And then I said, holy, no wonder they were, you know, telling me you got some laugh.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's taken away from yourself just because you have to make an adjustment. And, you know, I mean, that's part of being an adult. You know what I mean? But when I say,
I agree.
Yeah, I say, when I say that, like my woman always lets me be myself. I mean, I don't have to change. I don't have to change the way I feel about the world. I don't have to change the music that I listen to. I don't have to act like, I don't have to act like I like shows like The View and like you know, Barbara Walters, may she rest in peace. Like I liked her. I don't have to act like that. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that kind of shit. So
right.
So yeah. When I say, you know, she lets me be myself, I mean that evidently she respects and or appreciates the man that I am in the first place. So we don't have a lot of problems about you're not doing this or you're not doing that. Of course, I have to take care of what I have to take care of, and I have to be responsible for what I'm responsible for and play my role correctly. But I
Hmm.
don't have to change away my whole thought process or tear down anything that I thought was right. And I don't have to shake up the etch a sketch and write the whole thing over again. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I know, like the changing your whole. So that's why when I talk to people about subjects like this, I say that men and women have to have three mindsets in which they are compatible. The mindset about the general philosophy of life, okay, which is what I would put that category of what's your personality and everybody else's personality. What is it that you like about life and each other that you can be compatible with so that you know in the future that this is going to be what you expect and nobody has to change. The other mindset is are the interests. If you have very diverse interests, you're going to bore each other after a while. If you like to go bowling and she likes to go camping and you don't want to go camping, she doesn't want to go bowling, you're not going to share the same interests. And
That
then
makes
the third
sense.
mindset, to me, is very, very integral to this discussion is morality. People have to do the right thing
Mm.
because it's the right thing to do. If they don't have that mindset, then people don't know how to adapt to each other the right way. They don't think about ethics. They don't think about how to please you as a natural way of behavior and personality and mindset. Um, and if you can't be trusted because you're not ethical, there goes the relationship. So to me, you have to have those three mindsets.
I think I agree with that. Like, but that all goes towards compromise to me. Like you can't have everything you want all the time because sometimes I mean, for a lot of people, the having their way isn't really the good way. You might want somebody to do some old crazy shit. It could be some criminal shit.
Yeah, like I know.
you
Yeah,
know, like yeah, everybody,
I
not
know.
not everybody should be given their own way. I know that for a fact. But hold on a second, because we
No,
have another caller on the
okay.
line, so just hold tight. Caller with the last numbers 4828. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Oh boy. Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So I was listening in, and I was with you guys until the whole Miss Independent thing came up.
Mm,
Um, I think that being a strong, independent woman has been given a bad rap, in a sense. Um, I should say on some levels, and some of it is our part. We've done our part in that is getting a bad rap. I don't see anything wrong with being strong and independent and being able to hold your own. These days, we need to be able to hold our own. So I don't see anything wrong with that. The problem, for in my opinion, comes in when there are women who use that as like this badge to keep a wall up, but at the same time asking for the man to lead and protect. So there has to be a balance. You understand what I mean? So like
mm-hmm.
that's what the problem is comes in at. It's not because she's strong and independent. It's because she hasn't been conditioned or taught that there has to come a point where one, you're not coming into the dating scene with these grand expectations of rather than letting things flow organically so that you can get what it is that you need and want from the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Let me ask you this, because
Sure.
you said that it caught your attention and you sort of fell off track when the strong independent part had come up. I want to know, in your opinion, um, which part do you have more of an issue with? The being strong part or the being independent part?
I don't have an issue with either of those parts. It's the context in which it was presented by the other caller.
Okay.
At the time. Yeah. So, like, I am strong. I am independent. However, I do not. That's not a hindrance. When I'm in a relationship. If anything, it's definitely something that attracts men to me. Because they know that I'm driven, and they know that I'm definitely somebody who's going to take care of certain things. However, it's about knowing how to allow somebody in your space, despite whatever it is that you had going on for yourself before they came along. Everybody doesn't know how to have that balance. They don't. And they actually don't, every woman doesn't know how to accept or recognize when someone, and we're talking about men here, is giving them what it is that they are actually looking for so that maybe they can relax and have somebody there to lean on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So on one hand, it's us. On the other hand, men also have to create a safe space in order for some of these women to be able to let their guard down and not lean on this, I'm strong and independent. I don't need a man, but I want a man. It's like sometimes the comments are contradictory. So it's not that they don't want it. They know that they want it. They know that they need it. But every man doesn't create a safe space. Like, you both sound like decisive men. Who can come into a situation and say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I expect. Every man's not like that.
Okay.
Hey, son, you mind if I address her? Because apparently she's
No, that's
okay.
That's what we're here for.
Oh, all right. Okay. Cool. What was it that I said that made you feel that you had to refute it?
Can you repeat that, please?
What was it that I had said that made you feel that you had to come online here and refute what I had said?
I don't know if I would use the word feel. More of a thought. You and I have been on the call together before. I don't know if my voice sounds familiar to you. I don't have an issue with you. Sometimes when you're talking, you word things in a way where I might feel like I might need to press one so that we can talk about it and I can get more context on what it is that you're saying. The way that you worded it at the time, and I don't remember verbatim, so I don't want to, like quote you or anything like that. But it was like, it's that strong, independent mindset that's where everything goes wrong. And so I need more context as far as what you mean by that, because the way that you originally presented it made it sound like being strong and independent was an issue or a hindrance.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So when I said I'd be glad to meet a strong and independent woman, so that she can actually be strong and independent and pay her way, such as on dates, and take care of her own lifestyle. Did you hear when I said that? Or no, it wasn't verbatim, it's what I said. Okay. And so was that what you had an issue with?
So being strong and independent doesn't mean like, oh, we're gonna go out on a date, and I'm gonna pay my way. Like the way that you're framing it, when most women who are actually strong and independent say that, it just means that, hey, I'm somebody who is ambitious. I'm somebody who's driven. I've put myself in a financial position to be able to, so that the man doesn't have to come in and worry about providing that part of it. So the only thing that I'm really looking for is the mental and emotional connection. The women
Well,
who
if
are
the man
truly
is
strong.
okay.
The
Well, if
women,
the man is
who
going to
are
come in,
strong in,
if the man's going to come in and take care of the financial part, so that's not being strong and independent, okay? That may be your definition. But if the definition of strong and independent means, well, you're the man and you still got to pay for everything that I got to do while I made my own money and I don't have to pay for anything while you're taking care of not only yourself, but taking care of me, and we're not even married, that's not being strong and independent.
no, it's
So,
not. But that's not, but
Yeah.
again, I like how you said, but that may be my definition, and it is. You know, when I meet a man, and I have one, you know, when I meet a man, when he comes into a relationship with me, certain things I've already laid a certain foundation. So when we're making our connection and we're growing our connection, we're growing our mental and emotional connection without the weight of him having to take over things financially. Now, if we do have a really strong, relationship, if he wants to come in and he feels like this is what I want to take care of, that's a conversation that, we'll have, and, we'll make that decision together. But he didn't walk into the relationship with me feeling as if, now you have to come and pay all my bills. That's why earlier I said a woman who's
All right.
truly strong and independent is not going to ask for, certain things.
Okay.
well,
hold on.
Son's show, and on my show, maybe you can come when I have my show, but right now I think I'm taking
Okay.
up too much time on his show.
No,
All right.
no, I would love to. I would love
Let,
to.
let me
to
step
do
in
that.
here. Let me step in here for a minute. All right. So I don't know. Over the years, I've grown really to dislike the word independent, because I don't think anybody is independent. Just because you make your own money, have your own stuff, it doesn't mean independence to me. Independence means that you don't need anybody and that you got everything on your own. If you went to work to make the money to buy material things or whatever you have, you didn't make that money independently. You had to go to work. You have to deal with other people. So maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but I think
I
effective.
think so, because we're talking about it within the social construct. We're not.
Yeah, but a lot of times the social construct is misquoted, is wrong. You know what I mean? It's like the word anti-Semitism. Like, no, that doesn't mean you. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of terms that we get used to, even though we know better, and we don't check them. So when I think about independence, like even I'm alone a lot. I do things by myself, with myself a lot, but I'm still not independent because I still depend on somebody for things. They just might not be financial things. By the way, Joe hung up. So yeah, I still depend on others for certain things that I can't provide myself. Okay, he's back. Hold on, let me cue him in, and then let me finish what I'm saying first. But yeah, that's not my idea of independence. Like my idea of independence really goes more towards I'm free to do whatever I want to do. So I'm independent in that way, but I'm not independent just because I take care of myself. Like that's not how it works. Shoot, even out in the wild, each individual lion knows how to take care of themselves. They all know how to hunt. They all know how to make sure that they stay fed, but they are dependent on each other in order to make the job of hunting and feeding their family easier. So they depend on each other. We don't need to be independent. What we need to do is be effective. As long as we're effective, we're going to get the equal respect. But as soon as, since we're talking about the social construct, as soon as a lot of women out here start talking about they strong and independent, and I don't have a problem with the word strong. because I think we all have a certain amount of strength. But when I think we get the word independent a little twisted, to mean that when a man hears a woman saying that she's independent, like in his mind he's hearing that she don't need him. And when a woman, a lot of times when women use the word independent, they're saying that they don't need a man. You even said it yourself. Not saying that you said that you didn't need a man, but you were saying that as far as finances and things are concerned, yeah, you can hold your own, make it on your own that way, and that's good. So you are effective with taking care of yourself and generating revenue and being able to sustain a decent income. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but we still need other things that we're not independent in. We're not we're not independent when it comes to love, affection, understanding, education. We're not. I love when people say I'm self-taught, I'm self-educated. Like, no, you're not. First of all, you had to go get the books. You know what I mean? You could say it's semantics, but if we are talking about the social construct, we get it fucked up because now we're talking about a whole different thing, and we're getting to a male versus female thing or whatever. And since this show is about women these days don't know how to treat a man, maybe words like independent is maybe that's one of those words that some women who know how to treat a man know to steer away from, to stay away from. Like, no, I'm not going to use the word independent or whatever because I can get he may confuse that with something else and it's going to send the wrong message to him, and that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to insinuate in any way that I don't need him, because if I didn't need him, what the fuck am I around him for? Why am I letting him date me? Why am I laying up with him? Why am I calling him? Why am I receiving calls? Why am I spending time? Why am I present?
Well,
why am I available?
Well, somebody who has relationship maturity will say what they need the other person for. That's in my opinion. So, even though I know that I have certain attributes and I don't necessarily use certain verbiage, I also say what I need in a relationship and what I'm looking for in a relationship. That comes with relationship maturity. My point is that I don't think that even why today's women don't know how to treat a man is because of the strong and independent part. I think they haven't been taught to think outside of themselves, and they haven't been conditioned to think outside of themselves. So there's a whole generation of women who are ridiculously self-centered.
Well, yeah. So
they, that's why when you see, I can't really take the relationships on social media as I don't always think they're real. But if we see what looks like a successful relationship, they're few and far between as far as what, all of the mean and hateful statuses and posts and things like that from people who don't have relationship maturity.
Yeah, and once again, when you use the word relationship maturity, that's so subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are going to listen to that or even try to repeat it, and they don't even know what it means. They don't know. You know what I mean? This is being real. They don't know, because, like I said, it's very subjective.
I agree. When I say it, I'm talking about communication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, it's like it starts there with communication, being able to communicate what it is that you need, what you want, what you know that you can give, what you're not sure that you can't. That's what I mean by it. Being able to, sometimes recognize when you should be fighting, when you should not be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to read the room, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. The thing is, if we're talking about women these days don't know how to treat a man, we but we're throwing out these elements of how to treat a man or how a man wants to be treated, needs to be treated, should be treated.
But they don't know it.
And so because they don't know it, and we don't know how many don't know versus how many do know, but we definitely get big glaring examples of those who don't seem to know, who don't seem to care as well. There might be some truth to this not knowing how to treat a man thing, but there also we also have to look at the other side where the man is, and we may have to find that a lot of men don't even know how to be treated. They may not even know how they're supposed to be being treated. They don't know. Hold on, let me click Joe back in. Joe, you're back. You dropped for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. For some reason, I wasn't hearing anybody, and I wasn't. So I thought I had to call back in just to make sure. I don't know why. Maybe my phone, my Wi-Fi dropped. Yeah, it is. Well, in this instance, it is a matter of communication, and your last statement is true too. There are men who are conditioned to be gentlemen, and are conditioned to give up their lives for women because that's the way society says that they should do it. They do not know how to be treated by a woman. That's why a lot of men will take the passive aggressiveness or even the overt aggressiveness of women and accept it because they believe that the woman is virtuous, that the woman is practically holy, and as a result, they think onto themselves and put the burden of this particular philosophy onto themselves that, well, I must have done something wrong. Not necessarily, and a lot of times, no. The thing is that there is a difference in the definition of strong and independent by women versus strong and independent by men. When you're talking about a woman is not independent, you're absolutely right, because a woman will think she does not need a man until she needs him. In other words, she's saying, I don't need a man 24/7. I don't need a man till the weekends, and then I might need a man to fix a leak in the bathroom, etc. Repairman. But a man, he has to realize, we have to wake up and we have to realize, I will give to you what you give to me. If you're going to say you're strong and independent, hey, more power to you. Keep all your money, okay? Be powerful, be emotionally strong, physically strong if you want to, mentally strong. But when it comes to the relationship with me, I don't have to be the boss, but I do have to be shown appreciation and gratitude for what I do bring to the relationship. If you don't bring that, and if you're going to tell me you're my equal, except physically, and you're strong and independent at the same time, those are two dichotomous statements, okay? You don't have to depend on me, yet why are you here? You are here for me to give you something emotionally. And if you want me to give you something financially, you've got the wrong person. Because if you're going to be the strong and independent beacon of light that you want me to think of you as, then you pay for everything until I choose to give you as a gift something that I pay for out of my pocket as a result of appreciation for your being the right type of woman. You can be strong and independent all you want, but don't depend on me to be not only emotionally there for you when you're feeling down, but to somehow, in some way, pay for the dates or pay for giving you a loan, but not expect you to pay me back. Things like this. So, so when men, as both of you were saying, and I agree with both of you, the women are not conditioned or trained how to treat a man. Men are conditioned to be gentlemen, to open up the doors, pay for the dates, pull out the chairs, risk your life for even strange women. Go inside the building where there's a fire for a strange woman you don't know. A woman doesn't have to do a damn thing except show up. As a matter of fact, that's what they say. What do you bring to the table? You look at the YouTube videos, I bring myself, I bring my total package. What is it? What's your total package? I bring me. They cannot even explain what it is that they bring.
Hey, you definitely been watching
That's
YouTube videos. I said you've definitely been
That's
watching
true.
YouTube video. That shit gets on my fucking nerves.
That's true. It hurts me.
You got that
I
right.
don't even know what that means when they say that. It just seems like that's something that they say these days. Like, I bring me. I am the table. Are
I'm
you?
the table.
That's-
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. I am the
I
table.
laugh every time I hear that one.
Oh,
I am the
man,
table.
I don't laugh. I cringe.
Hold up, but Joe, I want to say, you know, if I'm, you know, I'm a middle-aged woman, right? So, you know, what
Mhm.
those words mean to me is something different than what these girls, you know, are saying, you know, what it means to them these days. I want, you know, whoever I'm trying to build something with to know that, you know, I'm not one of those women that's going to buckle and fold when shit gets hard. So when I say that I'm strong or I'm, you know, independent apparently seems to be a dirty word for son, but you know, when I say these things, I want him to know that you have somebody who's about to ride with you. You know, that if something ever happens, I got your back, that I can hold things down. You know, if we ever find ourselves in a situation where something happens with our house, like a disaster, you know, I'm not going to be like, you know, all is lost. You know, so that's what it means to me. It doesn't mean for me that I am your equal. I'm not your equal. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in a very traditional household, and I believe in traditional roles. So, you know, I'm specifically saying for me because I know the women that you guys are referring to. So yeah, it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply to us all, but you know, it is a big problem in the way that relationships are being built or not these days, and the statistics are showing that there's just like so many singles, and it's not even, you know, among certain races. It's like just all the way across the board. So it's like a generational thing.
63%. Yeah, 63%
You know?
of men in America between the ages of 25 to 35 have stated they have now given up dating altogether. Young men, because of the attitudes of women today.
I wonder how many they polled in that example, because I rarely
I would
do
like to
I
know
hear men
myself.
bitching about dating. I normally hear women bitching about dating. I hear men bitching about women in general. But let me ask the caller a question, since she has a man, she says, and she says she knows.
What
Wait,
do you mean I say?
I'm just asking. Listen. I'm a
She
broadcast.
says, I said, what?
Listen. I am a broadcast journalist. You know, I'm a broadcast journalist, and I have to ask questions in a certain type of way. I can be professional for 5 minutes in this show. But no, I'm putting on my Brian Gumble hat for 5 minutes. All right. Okay, so do you consider yourself to know how to treat a man? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
Okay, so in your knowledge of how to treat a man, what does it look like? Can we get some examples, or can you map out what a day of knowing how to treat a man looks like?
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry for the weird chuckle. Some of it is adult, you know. Anyway. In my opinion, knowing how to treat a man is also knowing how to treat your friend. You know, as far as allowing them, you know, to be themselves. You know, making your man or your partner to feel important and like their thoughts matter, their feelings matter. I'm also a mom of boys, so how I make my man feel comfortable as far as letting him know his feelings are valid. I do that with my sons too, and I want them to be conditioned to being around women who make them feel like their feelings and their thoughts matter. To me, that's very important. And so when they do encounter a woman who kind of dismisses how they feel, dismisses their thoughts, I don't want them to be comfortable with that ever.
Okay.
And so I try to inspire that with my sons. I try to inspire that with my man. I mentioned earlier reading the room as far as maybe knowing when to push, or certain conversations, or knowing when to pull back. But mostly it's just about, hey, you can be who you are with me, and I want you to allow me to do the same.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and letting him know, I'm open to seeing what he feels he wants to give to me as his partner. I think that's important too. It's like, hey, I need this, and allowing him to show me his affection in the way that he shows his affection, and his care for me. Because what my thoughts on it, or my methods may be different than his. But you have to allow somebody that safe space. That goes both ways.
Okay.
In sex, so that's important. Sorry, I just had to put that in.
Okay. So would your man agree that you know how to treat him?
Yes.
Can you call him?
Yes.
What's his number?
I actually sent him a text message when I saw the show title. So I.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's like random. I can.
Okay.
But
Okay. No.
I'm scared.
I was joking and I'm serious at the same time, because a lot of times the miscommunication has a lot to do with one person thinking that they're doing the right thing, and because the other person isn't complaining or saying anything derogatory, or even explanatory about it, then they think that, listen, ain't nobody saying nothing, I must be doing something right. We say it all the time. It doesn't necessarily make it true, and we can all do better.
Right.
So when we talk about, and I'm sorry that I made this show so one-sided, because I didn't really mean to do that. I meant to branch off and talk about how a lot of men don't know how to treat a woman also, but we got stuck on the actual title of the show.
I mean, but that was touched upon, to what you were saying, that all comes with communication. I asked. That's why I could answer that question so confidently, because I asked.
Okay.
And I do ask, hey, like, what do you need from me? What do I need to do to make you feel, confident in this, that, and the other? I've asked questions like that, and he's like, what are you talking about? You already do that. I'm like, oh, okay. But that, again, that whole relationship maturity thing, so if somebody's out there listening, that's part of it, not necessarily thinking that you know exactly what your partner needs. Some of it has to be, you going to them and asking them, what do you need from me to make you feel this way?
You know what I'm thinking right now? My dad was alive. He always told me to, if you want to make more money at your job, never go to your boss and ask him about a raise, or you don't have to go that way, because you're gonna if you ask them about a raise or bonus or blah blah blah, they look at it as more of you just trying to do something for yourself, which kind of puts them in a position to feel like they're controlling your destiny. So he said, what you do is you go to your whomever it concerns, and you ask them, what can you do in order to make the company more money or to improve their situation? And because that's going to get you to your compensation package. You know what I mean? Because even if later on you're going to go and ask for more money, like, well, I asked y'all how I can do a better job around here, and how I can strengthen my position, or the position in this company, and I did everything that you asked me to do. As a matter of fact, y'all even gave me accommodations about that. Now, when you actually go in to ask for more money, you already have shown and proved that you're worthy of it, and you've done what your part was. So I'm wondering if enough people in couples do that, like just like you were asking, you said you asked your man, is there anything that you can do to make him more comfortable? However you put it, I'm just paraphrasing. You know, are there enough women who are humble enough to do that, or who give a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
okay, all right,
that's no.
all right.
And that's why this topic is what it is. Like, no, straight out, no.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time talking friends down off the ledge. Like, are you really serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I mentioned when I first got on, like, they don't know how to think outside of themselves.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but if you're in a relationship, you have to.
Yeah.
Or else it's not going to be
That's
successful.
actually, yeah.
You know
That's
what I
actually
mean?
an epidemic.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that part that you said that you've done with your man, that's something that I haven't emphasized in a long, long time. But it is something that I have said like years ago when I was talking to people on shows about relationships. And I said, even if you think that everything is going well, it would behoove you to ask your partner,
Yeah. Check
male
in.
to female, female to male,
Yeah.
is there anything else that, that I can do, to please you? So I'm glad
Do a
that you
temperature
brought that
check.
into your, I'm glad that you brought that into your particular life. And I doubt if 1% of the women have ever done that. Because the women, as you were alluding to, women are extremely selfish nowadays, very entitled. The princess mentality, the Cinderella complex, which the book was written about, is very, very prominent. I'm a woman, therefore you, the man, were put on this earth to entertain me, to protect me, to provide for me. Yet, I'm still strong and independent, and I can afford to be that way because you are protecting me, providing for me, and entertaining me. So the mindset is contradictory, but it's something which conforms to what Orwell talked about in 1984, where
90 seconds.
have two mutually exclusive ideas in their head at the same time and think that both of them are valid ideas. That's just the way people are. Our brains are made to have that kind of capacity.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that people actually have relationships. The thing is that even people who have
60 seconds.
divorced, I think the divorce rate for the first time people who've been married for the first time is something around 63%. You would think that each of the parties would learn, but no. When they get married again for the second time, it's over 60% divorce rate. Wow, is what I say.
Yeah, that sounds wow worthy. It definitely sounds wow worthy. All right,
The
let's
only thing that I would ask, and I just want to add this, and then I'm gonna head out, is that men talks amongst each other and help teach each other ways to be able to decipher, like tell the difference between
10 seconds.
about and someone like myself. Like I've found myself in situations with my ex-boyfriend where I'm fighting against generalizations, and I know that I'm not that, I don't fit those generalizations. I don't necessarily generalize men's behavior. I feel like it's specific from person to person until you show me differently. So until you put yourself in that pool, I'm not putting you in that pool. And so unfortunately, there are a lot of men who just think that all women ... The same way some women say, oh, all men are dogs, all men are this, that, or the other. It's just not true. But some men have to do a better job of being able to tell the difference between a woman like myself and a woman like one of my best friends who's, still in her bubble.
Okay.
Like we are not saying, you know what I mean? So
Okay. All right. Well, we're about to get on the out of here, but I want to thank both of you for coming in. I really appreciate both of your commentaries. Very insightful, very informative, and I think that it may have helped us, work some things out, gain a better understanding and different perspective on a topic that we may have initially said, well, yeah, I know all about this in the beginning, and even if you still feel that way, after this is all done, it's always good to have some things reinforced because you can never be 100% sure of how somebody else is thinking or some things that are right in front of your eyes. You may not understand why it's happening just because you understand that it is happening. So I want to thank both of you for coming on. We will be back
Yeah, I'm
tomorrow.
glad to be back.
No doubt. And we'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see y'all both back if you can make it. So let me get on up out of here. But appreciate you mucho. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right.
Enjoy your weekend, both of you.
Ditto.
You too.
All right. Good stuff there. All right. Let's do these birthday shout outs, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 12th, and they deserved something very interesting just happened. Okay. May 11th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Luz Alvarez, turning 52 years old today, and Precious Christ, happy birthday to you. And last but certainly not least, Erica Bird, turning 51 years old today. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 11th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, the rock out. Rock on it, do the damn, rock out. Rock on it, do the damn thing, and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, women these days don't know how to treat a man. Maybe some do, maybe some don't, but evidently where there's smoke, there's fire. And we have enough examples out here of men not being happy, women not being happy, both of them simultaneously not being happy with each other. But do they understand what the job at hand is? Is it a woman's job to treat a man a certain type of way? Well, some will say yes, some will say no. Each of them have their own ways of living, thinking, and the way that they've been taught and conditioned in order to look at the situation. But when it all comes down to it, you would think that each and every person who is going through this thing, living this life, is looking for harmony, looking for peace, looking for communication, looking for agreement, looking to be comfortable. And if one person feels like they're not being treated right in a situation, then after a while they're going to say something about it, or they're going to leave the situation, or things just aren't going to work out the way that you would think or hope that something would work out in a scenario such as this. Listen, I want to thank y'all all for coming through. Please hit the like button. Please share the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. ish for another Urban Therapy with Sun show. So y'all have a great day. All of the women out there, happy Mother's Day. And I hope y'all have a really, really, really fantabulous Mother's Day and do the damn thing and all of the love for all of the maternal nurturing and rearing and excellence that you have displayed. I hope that you are rewarded for it tomorrow. So we out of here. Blog Talk, let me get you out of here. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do it another way. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. 1, 2, on the other side, my boobers. 3, 4. We going on tour, my boobers. I holler at y'all. Peace. There you go.